Play Anarchy on the beat.
Hey PJ, where you at?
I'm right here, man. This is PJ, referee.
This Shuttleworth, the GOAT artist, Soul Wars, representing that Ring Gang Radio. We break down fights, not contracts.
This is the eye test.
This is the eye test. Ring Gang
Radio. This is the eye test.
Yes.
But let's go into the more complete Charlo. Maul. Against, I want to say, because some people don't realize it, but I'm going to say for them real quickly, an extremely highly decorated amateur boxer who beat guys like Alexander Usyk. If you want to add the other people too, if you want.
Oh, we talking about the amateur wins. Who else he beat? Didn't he beat Danny Jacobs in the amateur?
Yes, he did.
Who else?
He has some high quality scalps in his record.
For those who don't know, when he turned pro and he was coming up through the ranks, and this is before the Andy Lee fight. This is like going into the Andy Lee fight.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe a little bit before then, but just the reputation. Dude was actually getting that pre-Golovkin love.
Mm-hmm.
That little notoriety. But the thing is, dude didn't get it's like he didn't fucking pan out like Golovkin did.
Nope.
Professionally. So that's it. That's basically what it was with Corbo. But if you know boxing, if you've seen this man get in the ring and fight, you know he knows what the fuck he's doing. He can box and he got power.
Even if you don't know about what he did, you saw the highlights with Charlo, with Maul.
Yeah.
And for everything I like about Maul, Korobov landed some amazing shit. I didn't even expect him to do that kind of stuff. Like when they stopped the fight with Korobov and Lee, it was just because Korobov decided to show him. That's literally it. It wasn't because he was done. It was just he was just doing what he could.
The amateur mistake. He didn't know how to recover, man. He didn't know what to do, clinch. And I felt he was still a little hurt, but it wasn't like he was knocked out cold or anything. So yeah, I feel you.
It's also because Kenny Bayless was the ref, and I'm not gonna knock Kenny Bayless. Kenny Bayless really cares about the fighters, so if he feels you can't do shit for a couple seconds, he's gonna stop it.
Right. And you gotta remember, this Andy Lee is murdered with that right hook, so it's not like, he's stopping a fight with them Paulie Malignaggi teeing off on you. He's stopping a fight with Andy Lee teeing off on you.
Yeah, that's true. Like, okay, I would never use comparison to Paulie Malignaggi. Like, anybody can do more damage.
Like, okay, this average. Let me see. Who's the average hitting, decent power hitting guy? Okay, this is not. Let me see.
You caught me off
Glenn
guard.
Johnson?
No, you just caught me off guard there. Like, let's just stick back to Paulie. I want to say a name, but I can't think of a name right now. But Paulie's probably the best option you got.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay, I'm trying here.
No, because I'm like, if you think about average guys, they kind of land harder. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
but no, it's just like that kind of stuff. It's like, but I understand. But like, Korobov is before, like you said, the Andy Lee fight. Like, he was Golovkin before Golovkin. It's actually kind of funny. But unfortunately, instead of turning Lee into a good boy, he became a good boy.
But he kind of just went into obscurity, like fighting randomly, untelevised cards, the Telemundo top rank.
That's how vicious it is in top rank. If you're got the chance to hit the spotlight and you fuck that shit up, they will banish you. Or worse yet,
Ryan Rivera, like 1 a.m. in the morning and shit, and some card where everybody's speaking Spanish. See, I'm a real boxing fan, so I'm gonna watch that shit. But that's how underground this nigga went.
Yeah, if you're really a boxing fan, you're gonna watch Box Azteca. Don't ask about what they're saying. Just know every once in a while they'll interview Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. They'll interview Marco Antonio Barrera. You don't need to know what they're saying. It will sound like a soccer match, and you're gonna get hyped. Just watch the skills and get hyped. That's it.
Nope. And that's because you gonna watch boxing in any language you can. Because this nigga's fighting, man. What the fuck? That's all it is.
Also, and I understand the time zone. I understand the time zone is vicious, but always watch boxing fights in Japan and New Year's. They have the best fights.
Oh man,
they have the best fights.
They don't play, and they be hype as fuck. But so just setting up this whole fight, and then Corobol was scheduled to fight someone on the undercard at 168. You know, Monroe tests positive for some testosterone booster.
Yeah, I don't know the full details of what Monroe got popped for, but I was just like, since they're kind of vague about it, I'm just like, they clearly don't 100% know what it is, but they're like, yeah, you can't.
Yeah, they just Nino Brown canceled that shit. So basically, so Corobol get the call, and you know, he's one of those niggas that, you know, they called up like, yo, man, we need you to go to the big office this time. And here he is main eventing now against the big Charlo. So I already knew once they switched him out, I'm like, okay, now we got to fucking fight now. Okay, this is Monroe.
More specifically, you knew it was a fight, but I bet you when they picked it, they didn't really think too much. It was just like, yo, who's the closest body we got?
I mean, he get more respect for beating Corobol than a lot of other names. To be honest, Corobol's the best name on Maul's record after Trout. Like, if you're talking about recently,
I've been like, yo, I salute Maul for getting that win. He earned that shit. Like, he had to do something.
He closed it out hard too.
But at the same time,
some people saying Corobol got robbed. I'm hearing that.
Okay, so maybe this is where, because people are probably doing the thing that just like because they're twins, they're probably the same. Let's point out real quickly what Maul has over Mel. Maul is willing to take it to you without question. Maul is more of a heavy-handed puncher. Like, he doesn't... I mean, he has the skills, but you know, sometimes in exchange, sometimes the best technique isn't thrown there. If you get caught by it, you're probably not getting up easily. When Maul wants to box you too, which he can do fairly okay, it's not easy either, but he's also aware of how to set you up. It's just the second you seem a little bit off balance or a little caught, he's coming at you full. My only issue with Maul is sometimes in exchanges, his head is up. That's about it.
He already like that's to me his biggest knock is the defense.
He's basically a guy. His defense is his offense.
Yeah, I agree with that because
unless you can deal with his offense, you ain't getting anywhere near him.
Once we seen how much Trout was able to put hands on him, now mind you, I still thought he beat Trout. Trout won like 5 rounds, but he earned those 5 fucking rounds, and then
he did.
Put hands on Maul, but I
Trout,
just felt
like you could tell Trout gassed.
But I think he would just kind of
he did everything he could. Yeah, because he's just small compared to those guys.
Maul is overwhelming with the power sometimes. It's like, here you are in Trout case, Trout would do some good work, land to the body, boom, boom, boom. And Maul just eat them shits. He may take a little half step back. But then Maul
add something real quick though. And it's not a knock on Trout at all, but I'm just like, just because he's from a generation before, but I'm like, the guys who are coming through 154, they're fucking huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
He is tiny compared to them. He's got decent power. He's got decent things. It's just like these guys would be like, all right, what else you got?
And I would agree with that. And the difference is, and that's what you saw. He would do some good work, and Maul would kind of just eat it. Maybe, you know, he would respect it a little bit. He might take a half step back or whatnot, but then he'll throw one of his telegraph bombs, or he'll do his ramrod jab, and he'll visibly force Trout back or hurt him.
Yeah. If anything, that's also another main difference between Maul and Mel. That ramrod jab. Maul's jab is terrifying. You can see it. You're not gonna beat it. Like the second you see his jab, it's already hit your face.
Oh hell yeah!
It's not slow, but it's not quick. It's like that perfect middle ground of like you can't detect when it's coming through. You have to take a step back to force him to overextend. Because that's the thing about Maul where people kind of don't get. It's just like when he wants to use that jab on you, he waits a little bit. Right. He'll show it, then all of a sudden it just shoves down your throat. Pause. But otherwise, yeah, that's just how his jab works. It's just like that's actually the scariest kind of jab. Like it looks the same whether he fakes it or he commits to it. You can't tell. So that means you need to give space. But that also means you're risking the fact that he takes ground, which builds his confidence. Unless you're really good at setting up traps and then smothering or like taking or making him feel that jab's not doing anything, you're gonna run into a couple of problems. I'm not gonna say you're gonna be screwed, but you're gonna run into problems. But like I said, like once he gets going, his defense is leaky to say the least.
I don't know, man. Dude don't move his head at all, really. And yeah, he got his hands up, but he a big fucking target. And Trout put hands on him, but the thing is, Trout was he's a southpaw. Cora both southpaw. But the thing is, you see the difference in power and size. Korobov is a natural middleweight.
Yes.
And he has natural power. He's the same type of he's a southpaw, like where Trout, like both of them are more of a left-handed southpaw, like like when I say a left-handed, I mean like a traditional southpaw. Like for an example, a traditional southpaw, their left is usually their better hand.
Whittaker, Rigondeaux, or even Lee. But Lee's like his biggest thing is his right hand, but otherwise, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like Pacquiao, when Pacquiao first came out,
oh my god,
it was more his left. But then
his left hand wasn't a punch; it was just a club.
But then his right hand got educated, and he became a complete fighter like that. You got some dudes like Chad Dawson. Actually, he's more of a right hook guy, but his left uppercut is good.
Quick, let me just step in real quick here because you just mentioned it real quick. There's another thing that we should say, just if we're comparing the two together. Between Maul and Mel, Maul's more complete than Mel. In terms of
I've always felt that.
But no, because that's why I said, like, some people may not get it, where they feel like, you know, if Mel got robbed, that means Maul got robbed. No, so like one person got robbed, this one, the other one. Because people are trying to make the two equivalent. I'm like, yes, they're twins. Yes, they back each other up. Yes, even though Mel's the more mouthy of the two, but otherwise I'm like, yes, they'll back each other up. I'm like, Maul is the more complete dude, which makes it funny because he's the quiet dude.
Crazy, man.
Maul barely says anything unless he's got like the Henny in him, but otherwise, like, he's a very quiet dude. He doesn't say much. He'll talk when the fight is coming up, but beyond that, he's not saying much.
He do his talking in the fucking ring and shoot them fades.
Yeah.
But definitely, like, the Korobov fight, I felt had like a drawish feel. I felt like you could have it maybe 6 rounds apiece, or it could have gone either way. I had Jamal winning.
All work.
But because I felt like Maul really. That's the difference between him and Mel. Like, Maul fight like he kind of wanted more. Like he kind of knew what it was going into the 12th, and he fought like it. Whereas Mel, if he hurt him or he knocked the dude backwards several feet, he kind of never just put the foot on the gas.
Okay, but actually no, I still think it's the same thing we talked about before. He's looking for that perfect opportunity. So those earlier rounds where Mel hurt Harrison, he wasn't sure, so he didn't jump in. He didn't see that perfect opportunity. But in that 12th round, it was there. So he went in. The thing that threw him off was, and that's why I said he has the recovery of Bradley. The sooner he got hurt, he was like, "Oh shit, I gotta start moving." So zip, 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 zip. But otherwise, that 12th round, Mel was beating the shit out of him.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. No one can argue otherwise.
They both had big 12 rounds. Korobov, did return fire on Maul in the 12th round though, but Maul still won that round big as hell. And you can see that Maul
wanted it more.
Yeah.
But I also feel it's because he saw how
his
Mel
spurts are more violent.
Yeah, and also I think it's just because he saw how Mel lost. He was just like, I'm not letting this shit happen to me.
Yeah,
that was in his head.
That's how you gotta be, man. Because you'll see. And honestly, niggas gonna have to start learning to box for the knockout. And what I mean by that is you don't gun for it, but you have a strategy in mind where
if it's there, it's there.
Yeah, if it's there, it's there. But the end game is to really drown this nigga at the end, or force the stoppage. Or beat the shit, or multiple, knockdowns where you could really the fight is yours. Like, you win them 6 rounds and you knock a nigga down 3 times.
Okay, so knockdowns are really hard to get unless you're really good at angling. But I will also say, like you say, you beat the shit out of somebody, but there's a difference between we're talking about be consistent throughout the entire fight. Don't do what Oscar De La Hoya did with Felix Trinidad, where he was kind of halfway and it's just yo, let me coast.
Yeah, because he coasted 3 rounds, and honestly, you can say De La Hoya got he got robbed, but in a way, you're you can't give up 3 rounds running.
Yeah, you give it away because at a certain point, what is it? Because the thing is and it's not a case of perception. You could clearly see as he moved around, he didn't want to engage anymore.
Right.
He felt so comfortable.
It's not a fight anymore after that.
Yeah, so the people are going to be so you're not a 12-round fighter?
And that's the thing is we got to start, the judging has to be at a point where niggas is getting rewarded for what's happening and not the potential, or we give too much credence to invisible shit that's not really translating into fucking punches that are, points.
I agree with that, but that's also where I say we have to, what you said, we got to decide where it might be invisible, but this is where it becomes really tricky. Because somebody could be throwing haymakers and might be missing, but the thing is, he's pressing the fight. But the guy who's aware of it might step away and might punish you for it, but we don't know how he's punishing you. Because maybe his option of punish is just I can only jab and this will get out the way. Because the thing is, if the thought of it might be scaring the guy, but the guy throwing it...
You got to tell the whole story. Is how many haymakers did the guy throwing haymakers land, and how many jabs did the guy landing jabs land?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So say for let's say for a minute and a half, guys throwing haymakers. Let's say 20. The other guy gets away from. Actually, fuck. That's even more detail. But otherwise, let's just go to surface level here. The guy gets away from 20 and decides to jab 15 of them. But there's still the other 10 left that he decided just to not do anything. So 15 versus 15. So 15 versus 15. So it's even.
Hold on, so it's 30 haymakers and nigga, you said 20.
Yeah, that's what I said. 30 haymakers, but in that 20, the guy decided to actively throw something against 15. That's how it became 15 versus 15 at that point.
Okay, so who landed? What was landed? How many jabs was landed? against
For each
those.
one that he missed, he just threw one jab
Did
and
it
just backed
land?
off. And yeah, it did. But the thing is, like, you don't see it in the guy's face. You can see it hit, but the guy was just like in the middle of just moving forward.
Okay, look, this is what we gotta grade. We gotta grade the punch that land. If we see the jab hit
Mm-hmm.
and we know it connected, it doesn't have to be some neck snapping jab. But if a guy is outmaneuvering a nigga who's throwing nothing but haymakers
Mm-hmm.
and he's missing all those haymakers,
Mm-hmm.
and a guy connects 4 jabs out of a sequence where a nigga threw 10 haymakers,
Mm-hmm.
the nigga who connect the jabs win that. But
Okay.
now if the
So
nigga who's throwing 10 haymakers
Mhm.
lands 3 out of those 10, and maybe he gets jabbed maybe 5 times,
yes.
I might have to say the haymakers. It all depends.
Well, I agree with you what you said, because the haymaker is the power shot, right, versus a jab.
Right. But it depends. Is this a, because look, we have to grade it on the highest and the lowest end on both sides.
Okay.
Are these in 5 neck snapping jabs
Or are they just
compared to 2 haymakers that are, or these some Miguel Cotto run from you, stagger across the ring haymakers, or are these some like, oh shit, he caught that nigga clean as fuck, like god damn, like
Okay,
like,
so
you know,
my
like
so
he lowered his gravity a little bit.
Okay, so here's the other thing, which I never actually got to properly ask you about. So we talk about like somebody's pressing the action. Okay, so basically he's the one like attempting, but doesn't mean when they're pressing action just means they're trying. But if they constantly miss and they get punished here and there, does it still, do you still award them for trying, or?
But see, this is the thing though. Nobody miss. Nobody just throws 100 punches and don't.
No, I'm not saying that. But hang on. If we talk about the Fury Wilder fight,
Wilder landed punches against Fury.
he did.
thing
But
is-
here's the thing: like his money punches, which he threw, and you could count each single time, Fury would get out the way. But here's the other thing, because I know you saw it I know you saw it right away too. He didn't capitalize on it. He just simply got out the way.
Yeah, see, and that's why I agree with Freddie Roach about that shit, where he said, you know, Fury could have knocked Wilder out and he could have went for it more. I
Yep.
definitely agree with that shit,
I do.
because I felt like, but Fury jabbed and he had enough offense where he made the other guy miss more and he landed more or controlled the round better than Wilder. And that's how he won the fight, won the rounds. As far as like, you know, when you look at Mel and Mark, like when you look at Charlos, you know, Mel, he doesn't really box to control rounds. It's more like I'm hitting you more than you hitting me in the process of me trying to run you.
Which Charlo? Let's just be more specific.
Yeah, that's Mel. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Mel?
That's Mel.
Okay, Mel. Okay.
Well, Maul, on the other hand, is like, okay,
You know what? I might just actually start accidentally slipping back to the other title. I like, sorry, Mel. Until like you start showing something, you're gonna be Diet Charlo.
Diet Charlo. But in Maul, on the other hand, he seems more composed, more sure of himself.
Who's
And
Maul's
he'll
trainer?
go after you a little bit more.
Because Maul and Mel do not have the same trainer. So, who's Maul's? I know who Mel's is. It said, wow, I forgot his name. Derek James. Yeah, there we go.
Is Maul still with Ronnie Shields or?
I don't know. I think so, because I haven't heard anything beyond that.
But yeah, so who you had winning the fight then with Korobov and Maul, Jamal Charlo?
Maul edged it. He
Okay.
clearly was the guy who like wanted more, and also in the exchange is like not to knock Korobov. Korobov, like he did some like beautiful shit. I'm just like, yo, he did shit that I actually like to do sometimes. So I'm just like, nah, I like. And here's the thing: what I like about Korobov, he reminds me a bit of like Pirog. He looks very generic. You don't expect much when you see him, but then you just see him in action. It's just like, oh shit. So that's what I liked about Korobov. So I'm just like,
but he looks powerful though. Like
he is powerful.
Pirog didn't really look. He looked more. He looked athletic, but more lanky, more laid back. Like you kind of knew you were gonna get like a slickster from him.
The thing with Pirog is he's a slickster. Pirog was a slickster, but he was an aggressive slickster. He kept coming forward towards you as he did it. That's what made him scary. Because it's another thing, like guys, like slicking and slip away from you because you expect it, right? He's slick, but this guy's constantly in your face doing it. So you're just like, one of these shots is gonna hit me, and you don't know which one it is because he likes to tap you a lot. He likes to tap. So you don't know where that power shot's coming from, which is why Jacobs got caught because it's like tap, boom. Because he never tells you his intent in his punches.
Right.
That's what makes Pirog scary. He gives you no intention in anything he does. Which is why I also like Korobov, because like outside of like some shots where you can tell from a bit of a distance where you can tell he's launching it, he doesn't really tell you much when he's doing anything. And I find those guys scarier than anything else, because if you can't tell their intent, you don't know when you're gonna get clocked.
Yeah. I feel you with that. Like it brings me back to what we were saying with the whole energy. Like Korobov just has this whole.
He has no energy to show. He doesn't show anything.
Yeah, like he looks like a powerful dude. Like
he looks powerful.
Serious.
But he's like those dudes in those like animes and like the samurais, and you just don't know what he's doing. He's just looking at you with a smile on his face, and you don't know why.
Yeah, but he got that generic Joe vibe. Like he just come in there. It's like he mean business, but you don't look at him as like, oh shit. Like
you can't say generic Joe without calling out, giving a shout out to the Lord of the Joes, Joe Smith Jr. The most generic name in existence and the most generic job in existence. Yo, that's the greatest thing of all time.
Oh man, no, yeah, he knocked out the whole professions, everything.
I know. I was just like, yeah, I became a fad right after that. Because it's like, what's his name? Joe Smith Jr. I'm just like, the most generic name, the most generic looking dude, and he's a construction worker? Oh my God, I have to be a fan of him.
Hit like a ton of bricks, dude.
I know. That's why he lifts bricks.
But Korobov was landing some good power shots on Maul. Like that left hand was money all day, but he never could follow up on it with anything else, and he never really could like.
Because every time he threw the left hand, you could always see it was overextended, so he couldn't follow it up with anything.
Right. But then it's like, then you gotta get to distance and you gotta do something else. You gotta adjust.
He doesn't know how to close in with it. He knows how to tap you, but he didn't know how to adjust his feet with it. So if anything, someone would just need to tell him like, yo, if you know your foot's extended, just bring your foot with you and then step out somewhere else. In fact, watch Roy Jones.
Like, a lot with that left. And that's the thing. It's like, damn, Ma, it's like, it's right there, nigga. Like, I just felt like he could have slipped some of those. Like, but then they look back, Trout was in him with those lefts too. But like we said earlier, the size difference.
Yeah, but I also say with at least for that fight, I would say, because like I said, Korobov doesn't really show it much. Every time Korobov threw it, Maul was in the middle of something else.
Right.
He was always.
It was sneaky. Then there was times where it was like, it's coming, and boom, it would come. It's like.
Yeah, like at a certain point, like if you ate the left like at least 2 times, you should know it's coming again at some point. Or at least be ready to just get out of the way.
Like he wasn't doing nothing where I'm like, okay, hold on, right, he gonna pull this out and he gonna do this move. Nah, he kept going for the left. He jabbed his way in sometimes, plotting.
So I guess my next question is, because I guess it's like an issue with both of them. I'm just like, do just neither of them like moving their head, or does one prefer to move their head over the other?
It looked like both are that way, man. Like, I don't know, but for Jamal, it looks worse. Like, I don't know. Like, it seems like he gets hit more, but I guess it's because he goes after it more.
Yeah, because I mean, like sometimes like he gets caught in the head, but he jams up your punch because he gets close.
Yeah, because a lot of times when Jamal gets hit, it's in exchanges, but then we see him get pot shotted with the left hand all night with Korobov too. So makes you wonder, but it makes me think like as far as like where they go from here. Wow, like I think Mel, he seriously got jobbed. I almost kind of feel like
I honestly think Mel should stop being concerned about his power and just box again.
I feel that way too, but
the power is
he's not living in the world where he was boxing. He's living in the world where he was knocking niggas out now.
Well, but the thing is, like, yeah, he got like some knockouts in a row, but when you think about it, like statistically, in all his fights, when it comes to knockouts versus this, I'm like, and to be fair, like anybody, I'm not gonna knock anybody. If you get like a couple knockouts in a row, why would you not feel like, yo, I can knock out everybody? But at the same time, be like, I've only recently started knocking out guys in a row. I wouldn't like throw away what's made me work to this point.
And that's what we were saying. Remember, like Harrison was more the natural puncher than Charlo. Charlo, you even by the knockouts, it's just.
I think the narrative might have gotten Harrison. The narrative probably bothered Harrison. But like I said, Harrison came from a knockout loss, so anybody's coming from a knockout loss, they're gonna be like hesitant right away.
Right, it. Oh my God, it fucking showed. But man, I honestly think like this is bigger than the Charlos, it's bigger than PBC. I think the decision was on some fucked up shit on purpose because Fox just wants some controversy. Like that's what it really kind of just. That's the vibe I get. You know, it's the first card. You know, Charlos, you know, we trying to make everybody into stars or at least make everybody as popping and buzzing as possible.
I guess it's because I haven't been paying attention to who they're trying to push forward and stuff like that. But I'm just like, are the Charlos really the new face of like boxing?
Nah, it's not really. It wasn't.
Or is it just for PBC? They're the new faces.
Well, for PBC, you could tell they're one of the stars that they have on the cusp, and they want to say, okay, get these niggas to the next level. Like they not on that Broner or Wilder level on PBC, or even fucking Keith Thurman and not Keith Thurman, Danny. Well, you can even fucking say Keith Thurman and Danny Garcia, them niggas. Like you can see Carlos are clearly under that.
Yeah, they're a little bit behind.
Yeah. Like you can tell there's a difference in the stardom of these niggas. But I don't think it was about them. I think it was more Fox wanted a big splash into boxing. They're gonna do this whole PBC shit for like 4 years.
I thought Fox had already done like PBC fights before.
They have, but they never did it on this level where they making side level shows. They're doing spin-off shows. They're doing countdowns.
Well, I would
Instagram. Or
I guess.
Yeah,
I was gonna say like I guess like because of just previous experience of watching previous fights and things like that. Like I wouldn't put it on both the Charlos. I'd be like, just give it to the bigger Charlo. And then afterwards,
if you would have took it from the big Charlo, he was an interim champion, and that fight really could have gone either way. Like I would have still felt like, damn, you know, Coral, you know, I felt Jamal won, but okay, I could understand him losing that one. But the first one, nah, Mel, no.
I don't think it's like a Carlo to rock. I just personally don't think like even just because how Fox is, because Fox is extremely cautious. I don't think they do anything like to make controversy. I think that's just the judges acting on their own.
I mean, I want to say incompetence, but it's getting too glaring now in boxing. It's like boxing's getting bigger now, getting more fights. You got more networks, more streaming apps, more this, more that.
My thought is this: 115, 113 is preference at that point. If it's any more than that, then yeah, it's clearly biased. But at that point, it's preference.
For that fight, I can't, because how did Harrison win fucking 7 rounds? I just look at it like if it goes back to what we said about
the missed shot and everything else like that.
That, as well as the we all see fights differently. And we
like I said, I can see either way for that's why I said I could see either way for the Harrison fight.
I can see that for the Corbo fight, but for the Harrison fight, I feel like even a draw would have been bad, but I would have been like, okay. But clear this is sweet, nah,
because I've seen it with judges where like you can clearly tell there was a clearly bullshit judge or a clearly bought off judge where they do like 117 this and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, this is stupid.
I just don't think Harrison did nowhere near enough just to get that. That shit just mind boggling. Like, I feel like there's more to talk about with Harrison winning and Fox did this big promo, all this shit, got this shit popping. It more benefits.
My thing about it is like, what does Fox get out of Harrison winning? Because Harrison is like, because Harrison is too unknown. Harrison is too much of a wild card. I'm like, you stick to the guy.
It don't matter if it don't matter if they promoting Harrison equally with Charlo on the build up to this fight. That's
so I guess my question is this:
Fox is trying to make everybody popping.
Okay, so I guess my next question is this: so after this has been done, do you think they're gonna allow an immediate rematch with Mel, or they're just gonna like go straight into the unification match with her?
Shit, man. Why not throw the rematch on the Spence Garcia card?
That'd be smart.
It didn't do the fucking Herd fight in fucking in the summer or the fall.
Because Herd hasn't confirmed the date, right? I don't think.
Nah, and wasn't Mel talking about he has the date? So
at the same time, we've also heard Mel say something when he has Henny in him. So
I mean, I don't know. I mean, this is an eye test, nigga. We don't get into all the specifics of the politics and all that shit, but
yeah, but we just tell it to her for a second. So let's reel that back. So I'll be okay. So let's just dust that off real quick. So outside of the antics, but otherwise, those would be the two routes that they go. Either an immediate match with Mel or a unification match with her. But that makes more sense if it should be the rematch because Harrison's already been KO'd by her before.
And no one want to see her. It's like, and this is the thing. If Harrison would have looked better in the gift that he received, you could have maybe make a case.
I like how I just like the fact where you had to carry yourself and rob a gift.
No, basically the point I'm trying to make is if Harrison would have looked as good as Corbo did losing, if he would have looked that good winning, maybe you could sell the Herd fight on some rematch shit, on some like, well, he beat Mel, he's coming back, he wants that rematch. Was beating her. He was beating her in the first half of the fight.
He was.
So it's like you can sell it a little more, but after this shitty performance, it's like, nigga, like it almost looks more now that.
At the same point, I mean, like, I guess it was a case of availability, but I'm just like, damn, I honestly feel Harrison performed this way because he came off a KO loss. Every person who's come off a KO loss is always hesitant.
True,
I have never seen a guy come off a KO loss and be like, yo, fuck it, I'm just doing the same thing I do. And the thing is, like, sorry?
We still gotta judge what happens.
Oh, no, I'm not saying, like, I'm not denying that. I'm just saying, like, that might be a reason. I'm not saying it is. Because that all boils down to Tony and the rest of them and the judges and stuff like that. Because we can't compare, like, we can boil it down to see what was done, everything else like that. In the end, W was given and L was given. So the main thing is, I was like, where do we go from there? And the main thing I would say is rematch. Just do an immediate rematch with
I ain't
Mel.
gonna lie, I'm feeling more of a rematch myself.
Rematch with Mel, yeah, Mel and Harrison. I want to see it too.
Mel
Because the
needs
thing
to
is,
right that wrong as soon as possible.
well, also at the same time, because it's like, it's kind of like Pacquiao Bradley. I'm like, I mean, depending how they decide to carry it, I'm like, Harrison will probably have something to prove. Mel will have something to prove. But at the same time, for Mel approaching the fight, I'd be like, stop relying on knockout. Just do what you've been doing till before you got the knockouts. What you were doing before was doing really well. When he boxes, yeah, he might have some problems here and there, but those are the guys who like make fights ugly. But I'm like,
Man, he stays more competitive when he boxes. Like if you look at the Jackson fight,
yeah,
people always try to make it seem like he was getting his ears boxed off and he's getting his ass kicked.
not by
He
much.
was losing the fight, but he was losing competitively. Like he was still landing on Jackson.
Yeah.
He was still fucking, in the fight.
Yeah.
It just the power took over and he won.
Yeah. So that's the thing about it. But at the same time, I'm like, here's the other thing. The problem that we talked about before. From that, I think it was the shot fight. Where you saying like when he was complaining in the quarter, oh, the perfect shot ain't there. Just throw your punches. Like,
I ain't gonna lie, I'll never
do what
forget
your
that.
brother
That's true.
does. Like, your brother doesn't swing and miss. He throws and sees where you go. That's the thing I guess they don't kind of get. Like, Maul will once in a while, like, not once in a while, Maul will throw and miss, and you can tell. But the thing is, sometimes he'll just throw to see where you go.
Right.
He wants to see where you're going. And the thing is, like, Mel has shown it too. It goes out the window at a certain point, and I don't know why. There's like no rhyme or reason. I still can't tell. He doesn't get clipped. He shows no sign of frustration. But the one thing still plagues him, and you pointed this out way before. He wants that perfect shot. Why?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. The perfect shot is everything sometimes, man. Like
The head's not available. Hit his chest. Hit his shoulders. Hit his gloves. Hit something. Hit his nuts. I don't care. I'm just like, hit something else.
Hey, nigga, hit something. But
like,
I feel you though. That's
even
that's
just
how it is.
show that you're trying to hit something and watch where the guy goes, and you'll see. I mean, I'll say this as a Wilder fan. Wilder eventually got it, but it's way too fucking late. Eventually, he threw a 1-2 and stopped and watched where Fury went before he got that left hook knocked out. He threw a 1-2, stopped, and looked where he went. Just is like, oh, that's where he's going. Yeah, he found out fucking late, but he eventually decided to be like, maybe I should just see where he goes. And guess what? It happened. And there was that brief moment, and no one disagrees with it. Fury was out for a bit, and he woke himself the fuck up like he was late for work. And by far, that's the greatest moment. That is like the highlight of 2018. Just get the fuck up. If you can. Let me add that. If you can. I'm not saying get the fuck up. I'm just saying you can get up from everything.
And most people would look at the Charlos as being more skilled than Wilder, but there's, like I said, Wilder gets shitted on for his boxing skills and all that, and yeah, we know it's limited, but
he's rough on the eye. That's literally it.
He
It's
always finds a way to hit you with his money shot. That's a skill in itself.
Like it's like book smarts versus street smarts. He has that fight smart. Like he's gonna find a way to hit you with that shot in a fight. There's no like rhyme or reason. He's going to do it.
Sometimes it happens in the first round, or it can happen in the 12th round, or in the 9th round, or the 5th round. It'll happen. It's just something you got to prepare for. Like,
and you know what I like about it the most? Even after the fight, Fury acknowledges it. His fans won't.
You have to.
No, but the thing is, like, no, but Fury has always acknowledged everything that happens for him in the fight. But he acknowledged like Wilder the most. He's just like, yeah, he landed on me. I'm like, he didn't say like, it was lucky shots. It's like, no, he set me up and he caught me. It's like so at
There's
some
no way
point, like
that's a
the
fucking
fighter,
easy punch.
if the fighter's willing to admit it, why would you, as a stand, try and deny it? Are you saying the guy you're standing for is delusional?
That's how it is, man. Hey, look, man. We know how it is. Sometimes people just don't want to admit something, even though the nigga they believe in himself admitted it. It's like, being a fan is hard.
I mean, for all the times I have knocked Floyd in a technical sense, at least he'll admit it. Be like, yeah, this guy caught me with this. He caught me with that. I mean, it's just because he says it so quietly, so people just like, well, he's not saying it in the boisterous sense. I'm like, well, who like hype beast the other guy about? Yeah, who hype beast the person they beat?
See, I think that, but deep down, that's a quality of greatness, man. It's like you gotta know your shortcomings so you can overcome them, man. Deep down, I feel like the Charlos are humble. Like
Yeah.
Maul admit he had a tough fight, and he knew what was up after that damn fight. Mel knew he could look better, but he knew he got fucking robbed. It is what it is. Like,
I mean, the people who feel like
niggas
like
gotta
you-
improve.
yeah, people who will be like, yeah, you know what, I got something to work on. Those are guys I'll be like, those are guys you gotta watch because they get better every fight.
Yeah, that's how you gotta approach it. If you know you ain't throwing enough punches, train for that shit. If you know you going with a guy and he could hurt you, be prepared for that. Train your instincts to adapt to certain situations when you hurt.
Yeah, I mean, like, I know ego will kick in and be like, like, oh, it didn't really hurt that bad. But you know what? At least if you said beforehand or even at that point, be like, I know I did this wrong. I'm okay with it. I mean, not 100%, but I'd be like, at least you acknowledge the mistake. That's all I'm gonna do, and they ignore everything else. Just admit what you did wrong. Know that you need to fix it, whether you won or lost, and go from there. Because that means you're just gonna be more terrifying the next time you fight.
Hey, you can't argue against that. That's just, in a way, it's easy as common sense, but the egos is gonna keep you from it. So, but
I've
as
seen
far as,
I've seen like people like throw other people under the bus, but they don't want to say they did anything wrong. I'm like, yeah, you did.
yeah, it's a lot of niggas like that, man. But it is what it is, man. I test, ring gang in general just gonna keep it real. I test gonna keep it real. That's just how we do. We call how we see the shit, and
We don't need to
And
agree
with
100%,
Carlos-
but we know what people need to fix on.
yeah, and with the Charlos, we see it and we discussed it, and we just hope shit work out for him in the future, and hopefully we could get some bigger fights for both guys. It was good that there was a wake up call for these niggas, man. That's how I look at it, and hopefully they can move on successfully from there. And shit, I'll be watching. I'm a fan. Shit.
Yeah, but at the same time, just like seeing how Korobov did this, I'm just like, if Golovkin's been watching, Golovkin will be like, I see these holes.
Yeah.
I mean, even what's his face? Canelo even saw those holes. I'm like, I see holes too.
That's the thing, but you gotta be prepared to take that shit back.
Mm-hmm. It's way better somebody be like, okay, people see holes, and you be like, yeah, you saw those. I'm gonna put like plaster on this, or like put cement, and let's see you do this.
Yeah. Because I feel like with Korobov's success, if I was Andre, I'd be really trying to go after that dude.
Mm-hmm. Also, I'd be like, with Korobov's success, I'd be like, yo, let's start pushing you again.